overwhelming popularity, not like President Trump was in Wyoming, where he got, what do you say, 70% of the vote. So it'll be, but that's why they have elections. And Joe Biden, I don't know if you have the vice president up here, he was a former vice president. I was serving in the Senate with him before he became Obama's vice president. And he would talk about elections. And you would like him if you were here. I mean, he's kind of a personable guy. And he said, remember, in an election, he said, you don't have to beat the almighty. He said, you only have to beat the alternative. So that's how elections are. You know, it's about people in a competition. And so you have people that voted for Trump and people who voted for Hillary. But there are a lot of people that voted who wanted to vote against Hillary or against Trump. So as Al Simpson, I don't know if you've ever had him in the classroom over the years, he was a former senator of Wyoming from Cody. He said, people vote against. I mean, that's kind of what, if he were to come here to the classroom and you were to ask the question, who do people vote for? He would say, well, people actually vote against. And there's a guy on television, Chris Matthews, he does a show called Hardball, because political's hardball. They say it's not beanbag. I mean, they're throwing real punches at you, they're spending money to make you look bad, making commercials about you, saying nasty things, Facebook, all those. It doesn't have to be true. It's politics. They can say whatever, people can say, you know, whatever they want. And Chris Matthews would always say, if there's an election, you want people that when they go in to vote, you want them to know 3 things, all about your opponent and all bad. Because based on the Al Simpson, they vote against, and that's the idea. Now, when I run, I don't try to do it that way. I try to talk about things that are important for the future of Wyoming, the future that you have for young people, opportunities you have. But there's a school of somebody said, well, why do they do all these negative ads? And they said, well, Bill Clinton said they do negative ads, he said, because they work. If they didn't work, people wouldn't do it. Because it's not about the almighty, it's just about beating the alternative. So it's an interesting dynamic.
How successful do you think Trump will be in the next election?
Yeah, he's up, not up in 18, he's up in 20. But the question is what impact is he going to have right now in the 2018 election? You know from the history of this that most presidents after 2 years, they're not on the ballot, but their party is, House and Senate. And historically, they lose seats. You lose seats year 2, Obama did, and you lose seats year 6, even though many of them are re-elected president. And Bush got re-elected, Reagan got re-elected, Obama got re-elected, Clinton got re-elected, but they all lost seats when they weren't themselves on the ballot, but their party was. And that's the question is the House, the Republican House, going to go to the Democrats? Will Nancy Pelosi be Speaker of the House, and will we hold the Senate and Republicans, or will we lose seats? And I don't know yet. I mean, time will tell. But it's going to be, I think it's going to just be a really interesting election year, and I'm not sure what it's all going to turn on. The economy is good, the stock market is up, but some of these tariff fights, and nobody asked me about international trade or the tariff issue, which is out there. And from a standpoint of Wyoming, I'd rather that we just keep selling our stuff to China and the people around the world that want to buy. Our #1 cash crop is beef. We sell a lot of trona out of Rock Springs, Green River area. We sell natural gas, coal. I want to be able to export those things. So when we put tariffs on some country, and then they come back and whack us by putting tariffs on something else and making it harder for us to sell beef, or almonds, nuts, we're putting tariffs on aluminum. It's kind of, sometimes it doesn't work for anybody's best interest. That's why I'm somebody that actually supports trade. I think trade is important. It's important for Wyoming. You talk to farmers and ranchers here, we want to be able to sell what we have overseas. And we want to be able to buy things cheaper.
So you have time for one more question.
Okay, thanks.
So,
Go ahead.
what are your thoughts on the possible, Russian meddling?
Yeah, I think it's a perfect question, but this is a question about the Russian meddling into the election in 2016. Did they do it? Yes. Did they meddle in the election in Germany with Angela Merkel? Yes. Did they meddle in the election in England that had to do with Brexit? Yes. Have they been doing this for a long, long time? Yes. Are they going to do it in the future? Yes. I think you just have to realize that they're going to try to do it and they will use whatever technology is out there to do it. I mean, they've done it with Facebook, they've done it with, on the internet, and it's just like anybody else that is in a campaign. You want to say bad things about this one or that one, organizations do the same thing. But I think it would be naive to think that Russia did not, and I think they're going to continue to do it. Now, I don't see any evidence that they were actually able to, say, interfere with the ballot, the voting booths in Washakie County or in Casper where I live. There's no evidence of that at all. But were they trying to influence the election? Absolutely. And are they going to try it this time? Yes. And the next time? Yes. So do we do all this stuff? Cyber, I worry about, you worry about Pearl Harbor and the Japanese bombing there. I worry about a cyber Pearl Harbor. Whether it's the banking system that gets hit, whether it's the GPS system that we navigate so much with, whether it's energy grid. I mean, I think you have to legitimately think about, and you guys just know a lot more about computers than anybody my age is, but you're going to just, be able to say, oh yeah, they can get you here or there in the next place, but there's just so much potential for that, and we don't have a good policy. We wouldn't know what happens if somebody bombs us and we go bomb them, but we don't really have a good national policy of what happens if somebody tries to hack us. I mean, if somebody broke into the energy grid and planted some bombs and stole some secrets, we'd be after them. But if somebody plants a virus in there and mucks things up, we don't really have a good, because sometimes you don't even know who did it. And you probably know better than I do how they can hide this and come in and disguise who they are, and it can be a country, and it can kind of coming from all different places around the world. It's hard to catch who did it and punish them. If it's just some smart kid in their basement, or if it's actually some terrorist center in the middle of China. Any other questions? Want to get a picture of the whole class?
Yeah, Olivia? Yeah, we would like to. They've taken a few, so get your position there, kiddo. Olivia's got something for you.
Oh, good. Thank you. I love it.
You're running out of wall space.
Excellent. You're Washington, D.C.
Okay, if we could get all of the tallest people at the back.
You guys have done this before now, so just assume the positions you're normally in.
Thanks for coming. You bet. Fun.